bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the Something's gotta give. No! Let the bodies hit the floor. 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 Something's gotta give. No! Let the bodies hit the floor. 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 Skin and skin, blood and bone. You're all by yourself, but you're not alone. You wanted in now, now you're here, driven by hate, consumed by fear. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Nothing wrong with me. Nothing wrong with me. Nothing wrong with me. Nothing wrong with me. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. No! Let the bodies hit the floor. 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 Let the bodies hit the floor.
Hey guys, man, I've been on a roll with all of this heavier stuff this week. While it wouldn't have necessarily have been like the most direct choice that I would have made, it's the most iconic choice, and as such, especially considering that it was the song that originally got just about anybody into Drowning Pool in the first place, Bodies was the most appropriate choice to go with here. Now, Drowning Pool for me was a huge part of my life in those early formative years of metal. Dave Stage Williams was effectively the guy that made me want to learn how to do screaming. Like, he had such an amazing regular singing voice, and then also this amazing set of vocals when it came to screams and growls and things like that, that was kind of who I looked up to vocally originally. You know, and then I learned about other people as I got older, and I ended up learning more different experiences. But my start into metal has a lot to do with Dave Williams. And I remember it was Big Day Out 2002, which was like the major, you know, like Woodstock Festival or Download Festival or whatever you want to call it of the time in those early 2000s here in Australia. And Drowning Pool was one of the last bands that I saw that night. I believe Foo Fighters was actually headlining that year. But Drowning Pool were over on one of the other smaller stages, and I knew that I had to see them. and watching them live when Sinner first came out and that whole album blew up, it was amazing. It was so much fun to watch. I was so happy to just sort of experience that. Fast track yourself to August of that same year of 2002, and Dave died of heart complications, and it shook me to my core. Like, I hadn't experienced like celebrity or idol loss yet, and that was like the first one that I ever experienced, and I sort of didn't know what to expect. Like, as far as what I knew, as far as what it meant to me, Drowning Pool was over. And in a lot of ways, it really was. Dave Williams, to me, was such a major part of who I was growing up that I didn't want to do anything with Drowning Pool after that. In my mind, there was nobody that was going to be able to compare. I will say this much, when it came to making this video, like, I wanted to do the song justice, and I wanted to try and emulate as much as I could, and then I realized something as I did it. And it's probably something that you guys noticed too, especially the people that really sort of know the song well, is that my vocal take, especially during the choruses and things like that, aren't, like, accurate, if you want to call it that. And there's a reason behind that. Number one, Dave Williams was amazing, and his transitions from low level to high level were virtually seamless when it came to being in the recording studio, and it's a very difficult thing to try and emulate. So I started racking my brain. I almost put myself into complete vocal fatigue trying to do this song in a way that was going to be sort of familiar to everybody. But I realized that that's not the point. The best thing that I could do for a song that was done by an artist that inspired me to become my own person when it came to metal is to just do the song my own way. Realistically, it was going to be insulting for me to try and do it as a carbon copy of Dave Williams because he was his own person. So that's the reason why, some of you might find it a little bit weird hearing some of the screams in the choruses and stuff like that sitting a little bit higher than what you're used to. But it's because I needed to do it in my own way in order to honor Dave and what he did and what he meant to me. So hopefully that doesn't end up deterring you away from the song, and if you're here by the end of all of this, then it means that it hasn't and you've enjoyed it entirely, and I thank you so much for being here. If it's your first time to the channel, hit the subscription button. Thank you for coming. Have a look at some of the other content that I've done over this time. If you're subscribed to the channel and you haven't hit the notification bell, what are you doing? Hit the bell, it's down here. Keep your eyes here. Reach around, fumble in the dark, and hit that bell button. I upload videos, believe it or not, every Friday night, 6:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and without me having to remind you, and without you having to keep it in that big wrinkled brain of yours, YouTube can tell you to your face through your notifications that, hey, Stuart Oliver has a video up this week, and it's right on time at 6:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Isn't that convenient? That means you don't have to think about it. YouTube will do it for you. Hit the bell, hit the buttons, do all that good stuff, and check out these videos right here. These videos have been on the channel now for a little bit. Hopefully, they might be stuff that you enjoy. I'll see you in the next one.